Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is actually going to be another movie review for you guys. Wasn't planning on doing a movie review today, but I thought I would because there's nothing on TV tonight. There's nothing on TV, there's no Girl Meets World, there's no The Nick, so I figured had to put some sort of review up for you guys, so I figured I would do a movie review for you guys. Now, the movie I'm going to be reviewing to you, you've probably never heard of, and I never heard of it either. Let's talk about a little site called the AV Club. I don't like them. I don't usually like their reviews very much. I don't agree with their reviews. I think that I just don't really like their reviews. I don't. I think that they are way too harsh on shows. I think that they get very bored very easily. You can tell that. And I kind of feel that some of their reviews are kind of immature. They kind of are. Some of the things they say are immature. I most times don't agree with them. However, I do check back on their site to see what they were reviewing and things like that, to see what they thought and things like that. I always check back. Even though I don't really like their website, I do always check back. So I go to their website and I see that there's this movie there called Starred Up, and it has an A+. Now, that right away said, alright, that movie I need to watch. I find out, and I did not know what it's about at all. I found it's about a prison drama, and that's literally all I knew about the movie. So I really wanted to see it. I wanted to find a link for it because I figured it's a British movie. It's probably online somewhere. And I didn't think I'd ever get to see it actually. But iTunes, I think very recently, just put up the film. You can rent the film on iTunes and on Amazon Instant Video. So that right away said, alright, I gotta watch this now. And I'm very happy I did because Startup is one of the best movies of the year. I love this movie. I thought it was a fantastic movie, and it definitely is probably the best prison movie I think I've seen. I do not count American History X as a prison movie, because here's the thing, I don't count it as a prison movie just because of the fact that it only takes place in prison for like a couple scenes for like 20 minutes in the movie. So I don't count it as a prison movie. Startup is definitely one of the best movies of the year though. Let's talk about the plot's about. The plot of Startup, again, I knew nothing about this movie. All I knew is it was a prison drama. I wanted to go in fresh into this movie because it was a British movie. And the thing is, I definitely feel that this movie is definitely going to get a US release. It actually has not gone to US release yet. It is only on iTunes. All you can see of it is on iTunes. I don't know if it's going to be coming to Blu-ray. I really don't know. I really hope it does because I really would love for this movie to get a lot more a lot more people to see it because it's a movie that I feel a lot of people need to see. Basically, it's about this teenager named Eric. Now, he is a juvenile offender. He should be in juvie. He's 19, but because of how extremely violent he has been transferred into an adult prison. That's basically what startup means. Startup is when you have done something so bad that you are forced to go to an adult prison. So, while in this adult prison, he knows what he's doing, definitely. He knows what he's doing. He, is very much, used to, he is very much used to the life of a prison, how to defend himself and things like that. And he ends up meeting his estranged father, who he hasn't seen ever, because his father, this was his father that abandoned him, and this guy is, Neville. He is serving a life sentence. He's never going to get out of prison. He's always going to be there, and his father is also a very very wanted criminal. A lot of people are after him and everything, and a lot of people are after him and things like that. And basically, there are a bunch of things going on with Eric. There are a lot of people that are not on his side. Most of the prison guards treat him like an animal and things like that. He's, getting therapy. But once his father meets him there, he actually wants to be a father to his son. He wants him to get out of this. He wants him to succeed in this. He doesn't want him to become like him. He doesn't want him to be like, he doesn't want him to have a life sentence. So he really just wants to be a father for him. But the question is Eric really ready to be this sort of person? Is he ready to turn his life around and get out of this prison? Is he ready to do that? That's really what the plot of Startup is about. There's a lot more going on besides that, which we're going to get to, but there's a lot more going on, but that's pretty much what the plot's about. I don't want to give away other stuff in the movie. So let's talk about the acting in this movie. And by the way, the plot, when I found out what the plot is, I'm like, okay, this movie's already amazing. Really, this movie really is a masterpiece. So let's talk about the acting in this movie. Our main star here is Jack O'Connell as Eric, and holy shit, he is amazing in this role. Amazing. I was surprised. This kid in this movie, Jack O'Connell, he's not a kid in real life, but like this guy in this movie is probably the most violent teenager, most troubled, violent teenager um, I have ever seen in any movie. Any movie. He is the most violent teenager ever. He is so violent. There's like this one scene where he's like going crazy. He takes a fucking like razor blade and like cuts someone with it. I mean, he just went so far. But the thing with his character is that you actually did care about him, and I like that about his character. Even though he was this extremely violent person, you cared for him. You wanted him to get out of this. You wanted him to become a better person because there were therapists and people that wanted to help him to get him out of this and everything. And you wanted him to get the treatment. You wanted his father to help him and things like that. And I like that the movie did that. He didn't seem like the kind of character that we could care about, but somehow we cared for him. And I thought that was definitely very well done. So, Jack O'Connell definitely gave one of the best acting performances of this year. And the other thing I really like about his performance is, very much like a lot of acting performance this year, his performance is not just a performance of acting. A lot of times in this movie, you can't really hear what they're saying in the dialogue, and that's just the realistic tone of this movie. You really can't understand what they're saying because it's, like, muffled. There's so much, like, slang and things like that. So it's more of a performance of, like, rage, and it's just very well done, in my opinion. Very good job from him. Ben Mendelsohn plays his father, Neville. He was fantastic in the movie as well. I loved how he really wanted to be there for his son. He really wanted to provide for his son. But Eric, was kind of torn. He didn't really know if he wanted his father's help or, whatever. He didn't really know if he wanted his father's help. And I really loved the bond between the two of them. I like that his father really wanted to be there for him. He wanted his son to get out of this. But his son's just not gonna, what he's realizing is that his son is not just gonna get out of this. He can't. And that's one of the things that I really loved about his character, is the way his character is sort of backwards thinking. I really like that about his character. His character is very well done, in my opinion, and I definitely, the thing is, these are two men who have a lot of problems, and they really don't know how to connect with ordinary, and how to interact with ordinary people. I mean, even each other. There's a scene where they're literally, like, beating each other up. It's towards the end of the movie. I don't want to give away why, but I mean, that was just an awesome scene. Just, he did a great job as well. Rupert Friend plays this guy, Oliver. Now, Oliver is Eric's therapist. He really wants to help him. He wants him to get treatment for this, which is going to take a while. That's the big thing. That's one of the big themes about this movie, is that it's really the message of treatment, that this treatment is going to take a while. And I really loved his character. I loved how he really wanted to provide for him. He was one of the only people, besides his father, that didn't look at him as this, juvenile offender. What he looked at him as was a kid who definitely had some shit go down in his life, and he really wanted to help him. He wanted to do whatever he could to help him. And I really liked that about his character. I thought he did a great job as well. Everyone else in the movie was very good. There's not really anyone else really to talk about. Sam Spruble was good in the movie. Everyone else was really good. There's really not much else to talk about as far as the performances go. But I thought everyone in the movie was very, very good. Very good performances. Just all around really, really great acting. Now let's get to the directing this movie. The director of this movie is David Mackenzie. I've not heard of this director. I've not heard. Obviously, he's a British director. And he really is, he did a amazing job directing this movie, definitely. Amazing job. I mean, he set the tone perfectly. One of the things that I love that this director decided to do is there is no score throughout this entire movie. I was thinking there was going to be, but in 20 minutes in the movie, I'm like, I'm not hearing a score. And it works so well because this movie is just done so realistically. And I think that's really why this is one of the best prison dramas I've ever seen, because it is so realistically portrayed. Nothing's contrived because of that. And it doesn't feel like, it really feels like you're watching real people in prison. That's really what this movie feels like. It really feels like you are in this prison and you're observing the prison. It really feels like these are real people in prison. That's what it seems like. This movie does not seem like a movie. What it seems like is raw prison footage of this kid Eric and his dad. That's really what this movie feels like. And I thought that was just very well done. The way that David Mackenzie decided to portray that was very well done, in my opinion. He just portrayed everything very well. Very dark tone throughout the whole movie. Obviously, it's in a prison, and the way he just portrayed everything was so well done. And the movie's really about the emotional lives of career prisoners. It's about people trying to have normal interactions, and they really can't. In one thing, like, both of these men really are just broken, and, they really just are very, they're not really normal. They need a lot of help, and because of that, one sort of insult, it just, like, it makes them go crazy, really. It really does, and I thought he portrayed that very well, in my opinion, definitely. There are actually some scenes very early in the movie where we just see Eric, like, locked up in this room, and he's just, like, going crazy, and it really just shows how crazy he really is, and I just thought that scene was, the way he portrayed that was definitely very well done, in my opinion. Really loved his directing. The writing in the movie is actually very interesting. I want to talk about the screenplay and the writing in this movie. I don't normally talk about screenplays, but I want to talk about this because the writer is actually a real-life therapist, Jonathan Nasser. The reason there's therapy in this movie is because some of the movie is based on his experience as a voluntary therapist at a prison with some of the country's most violent criminals. So that's really what I thought that was just done very well. He knew how to portray that sort of thing. There's this one scene where the two of the therapists are talking, and you actually see the differences between two of them. One of them is saying, "Oh, he's an animal and everything. He's an animal. Let's just, there's no way we can help him from this." But then you have Oliver saying, "No, I do want to help him through this. I want to help him. I want to take him in. I want him to realize that he can get help for this, and I want to get him out of this somehow." So I really liked that about the writing. Thought the screenplay was definitely very well done. Jonathan Nasser just did a great job with the screenplay, in my opinion. The cinematography was fantastic. Cinematography was very realistically portrayed. There are scenes that are very well done. The sets looked awesome in this movie. Oh my god, these sets are some of the darkest sets I've seen, definitely. Definitely some of the darkest sets. I just thought that was just very well done, in my opinion. Definitely, I thought that was just very well done. The sets were amazing in this movie. Love the sets. Another one of the best parts of the movie were the sets. The editing was fantastic. The movie's quite short, actually. It's only 106 minutes, and it flew by, really, it did. I was really into the movie the whole time, and the editing was just fantastic. Every scene really had to be in there, and I thought the editing was perfect, in my opinion. I really had no issues with the editing. So now we'll get to some mini spoilers from the movie. I am going to talk about a few spoilers, so if you guys have not seen Startup, which I really recommend you do, go to iTunes right now, rent this movie. It's about $7. You really can't pass it up. $7. It's really not that much, and it's $7. You can rent the movie right now, or you can rent it for like $4 on Amazon Instant Video, whatever your preference is. But I really recommend you guys check it out because it really is a fantastic movie. So let's just get to the spoilers. Now, of course, Eric and his father, of course, get into that huge fight, and, he's calling his father a pussy and everything, and that's basically the moment where his father realizes he has to sort of save him, and the moment where Eric was, like, about to, like, hang himself, or, the people were about to, hang him, basically, I really thought Eric was going to die at the end of this movie. I mean, that scene was just so big, the way that was done. Very well done. And his father just started going crazy after that. I mean, that was just crazy. And then his father basically realizes, my son's really, I need to be there for him, but I'm not going to be able to get him out of this, basically. Eric needs to decide if he wants the therapy and things like that. He needs to decide that, really. That's really what the movie was trying to show there. And a bit of an analysis here, because you actually have to do an analysis on something. At the end of the movie, the very end, Eric goes into that revolving door, and I don't really know what that's supposed to show. It has to deal with, is it trying to show that the shit he went through in the movie is just going to stop, or is it going to take something else to, back up his downward trending, to get him out of this? Is it really trying to show that it's going to continue, that this is going to continue for him, or is it trying to show that he's really going to get himself out of this? The movie doesn't really tell you that. What the movie's going to say is that Eric's going to have to make a choice of his own now. And I like that the movie didn't really have an ending. The movie ended very, ambiguously, where you don't really know what's going to happen next. You don't know if Eric is going to get himself out of this, or if he's just going to continue to be the same way he is. You don't know if he's going to try to get himself out of this prison and not make himself like his father. You really don't know what he's going to do. From the end of the movie, I'd have to say I don't think he will get himself out of this. I don't think so. He went so crazy at the end of the movie that I really don't think he can break himself from this. I don't think he can. And unfortunately, I don't think he can, unfortunately. I really don't. But, yeah, so I thought that was definitely a very interesting thing about the movie, like, the way that was, done. Also, this movie receives a few British Independent Film Awards. Ben Mendelsohn actually won the Best Supporting Actor, and he definitely did deserve that, definitely. I thought he definitely did deserve that. Jack O'Connell did win Best Actor for the Dublin International Film Festival. But like I said, guys, I really hope this film is released in the U.S. It was only released in the U.K., unfortunately. It is, though, as I said, it is on iTunes. You can rent it on there, and you can see it on Amazon Instant Video. And I really recommend you guys do, because this movie's fantastic. It is one of the best movies I've seen that deals with prison. It is probably the most realistically portrayed prison movie I've seen. Am I saying it's better than The Shawshank Redemption? No, I'm not saying it's better than The Shawshank Redemption. I'm saying that it is probably the best modern prison movie I've seen. One of the best movies that deals with prison. It's just extremely realistic. The way the director decided to not have a score in the movie was very well done. There were just so many things I loved about the movie, and I really just loved that about the movie. I thought that was just fantastic, and definitely, let me know if you guys saw this movie, if you guys have seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have not seen it. I'm sure this is not going to be a movie that a lot of you have heard of, but really, this movie is going to be a classic. A lot of people have said it's going to be a classic, and I agree. This really is a prison drama classic. I mean, the way everything is done is just really, really well done. I forgot to say, there are a couple scenes, actually, where Neville, his father, ends up actually embarrassing Eric, sort of. He ends up embarrassing him and everything, and, he doesn't help matters, because he makes up for lost time and everything, and he really just ends up embarrassing him and things like that, and really that's what makes Eric, like, so full of rage and everything, definitely. And I just thought that was just very, very, interesting about his character. But that's really all I have to say about Startup. Let me know if you guys saw this movie, if you guys have seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have not. As usual, guys, a link to my Letterboxd review will be down in the description below. I'm going to try to find a link for this movie. I don't know if I can, but if I do find a link for this movie, guys, I am going to put it in the description below, because I want you guys to see this movie. I know a lot of you are probably never going to see this movie, and you're going to miss probably what's one of the best films of this year, definitely. So that's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be either for another movie review, because I might watch another movie tomorrow, or for my review of tomorrow's episode of Outlander. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.